Hello, everybody. Welcome to, I don't even know what episode this is of Club
I
Fitting
think it's
Chronicles.
season 2, 9. Season
It's been
2,
so long, Gene. It has been
yes.
an incredibly long time since we've recorded an episode. I forgot what episode number it is. And for that, we do apologize. I was
We do.
traveling abroad, and the time in which I got back home was ironically when
The
Gene
day I
left for his.
left.
Yeah. So, Gene, speaking of
Yes.
which, where did you go?
I went to play golf on my favorite golf course in the world at Rustic Canyon in Moore Park, California. And the first day I had to learn how to putt again on the on some of those greens and shot 6 over. But the second day I went out there, and the interesting thing, and I'll tell a little bit more. Get on the first tee, and I'm introducing myself to these nice gentlemen that I'm going to be playing with. And it turns out they used to shop at ADS Golf in San Marcos. Now it's in ADS Golf is in Vista that I used to be the co-owner and do all the fitting, but they used to come in and buy their golf balls from us. Or actually they would have one of their friends who lived down the block. He would go and come in and pick up the golf balls for them. So that was kind of interesting. And then I went out and shot even par. I was pretty proud of that.
Wow.
So
Yeah, I heard a lot about Rustic Canyon, guys, from Gene. If you have the chance, check it out. I've seen pictures of it, and it looks like an incredible track. And if you're ever out in that area of California, enjoy it. It's in Simi Valley,
yeah.
right?
Well, yeah, it's in the Simi Valley area. It's in Moore Park. So if you're on the 118, it's where the 118 starts to head down towards the coast. But it's like a few miles from the Reagan Library. But, it's just talking to everybody. The three guys I played with on Friday, it was their first time, and they were like, "This is fun." And the guys I played with on Thursday, right after I had arrived there, their comment was, one guy went to school in England and played all over England and Scotland, and he goes, "This is just like there, but these greens are much harder." And it's fun. You sit there and you look at a shot and you go, well, I could do this, or I could do this, or I could do it this way, or I could do this. And you sit there and you got about 5 options. And the hardest thing is to pick one and then stick with that one in your mind without kind of going, well, maybe I should do this instead.
Exactly what you want in golf. That's exactly what you want.
And then don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do this one.
Yeah, don't hit it left.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Well, Gene.
I got to go to ADS Golf also. And again, I want to encourage anybody in the Southern California area, going to Southern California, go in and see Scott. Give him a call, set up an appointment. He's made some arrangements. They now carry, he has the ability to get all the major brands. He's got all the major shaft companies. I was looking at some of the LA golf shafts and stuff like that. The other thing that in the putting room, he's now got like 40 different types of putters that he can fit you into. If you're looking for golf balls, I've picked up a couple of golf balls. Looks like brand new. I think somebody left them in the ball washer on the first hole after rolling a couple of putts before they played. There's an eBay store. You can order golf balls. It's like $2 a ball. And these are not the perfects. These are the near perfects. And I was looking all over for why they were near perfects, and I haven't found that yet. But I've been playing with those for years. It used to crack me up. I'd get people going, "Oh, I can't play with a used golf ball." And the thing about ADS Golf, we never bought balls from guys who dove ponds. These are balls usually found in the canyons, along the bridges, Del Mar Country Club, and the balls are in perfect shape. They haven't been sitting in the water. We never touched them as far as cleaning them. This is how they come into us. We get them from the guys who work on the golf course. They bring them in. They got all the high end balls. We used to do all the top flights and stuff like that because we would stripe 50,000 of them a month and send them up to driving ranges up in LA. But we don't do that. We stopped doing that years ago. But I get guys, I don't use used balls. What is it called after you've hit your first tee shot? It's a used ball. Do you put it in your pocket and get out another one to hit the second shot?
That's funny.
Again, I've played with them since, 2002. I've been using balls from ADS Golf. I think I have not bought a new golf ball. I've had gifts of new golf balls, but I have not bought a new golf ball since 2002. Mm. And as you can tell, when we've played together, I'm always using ADS golf balls. It totally affects my game.
Yeah, you shoot under par. That's terrible.
Speaking of which, Josh and I were talking. I'm thinking about now that Title IX guys can play girls' sports, thinking about going back to college, play on the or go out on the LPGA tour, one or the other.
I think you're a little bit past the age eligibility, but however, you can identify as a 17-year-old man if you wanted to.
I'm a 17-year-old.
There you go.
The world is getting nuts, which kind of brings us into what we're going to talk about today.
And what is that, Gene?
The major golf companies they're going berserk. You now have companies that if you want to carry a 60-degree wedge, you're carrying 5 wedges in your bag because the pitching wedge is now 40 degrees. Again, to give you guys some idea, when I was in college, my 7-iron was 40 degrees. My 7-iron was still 40 degrees in the 80s. Currently, my 7-iron is 36 degrees. But you got companies that the lofts are incredible. 5-irons, 20 degrees. Mm. My 3-iron in college was 22 degrees. It's just, they're going nuts. And the things that go with that is you get these ads like, these clubs will give you more distance and better feel. How can they do that? They can't guarantee where I'm going to hit it, on center or not on center. How do they tell me that this feels better than that? I thought feel was a personal thing. You hit a club, I hit a club. Do we always agree on how that club feels? No. Well, how does the golf and it just, I keep hearing this over and over and over, and it just, I had an incident a couple times in the last couple weeks playing golf with people, and they've, well, I've been listening to the podcast and I love everything you're telling us, and I've learned so much, and I went out and I bought a driver the other day and I can't hit it. Well, if you were listening to what we were talking about, we kind of gave you some reasons to maybe what you need to do. You need to get fit. You can't just go into the store and buy a driver, but people are listening to those ads and they don't know anything. Mm-hmm. They're good people. They want to do good things. They don't want to do bad. They want to help their game. And so I started thinking and saying, okay, we somehow have to get these people to understand what they should at least be looking for. Because we have talked about, things that you should hear from a club fitter or things that they should be testing you with about things like that. So I sat down and I started thinking, okay, what are the things in a golf swing that people should be able to identify pretty much in their own swing? And so the first thing, tempo. So when I say the word tempo, Josh, what comes to mind?
Honestly, those little, the tempo trainer tools, the little blue. Oh God, what are they called?
Metronome?
No, I'm thinking of like an actual training aid, but a metronome is good, yeah, or pendulum or something. But I'm thinking of
Right.
there's a training aid. It's like this little blue. Gosh, what is it called? Either that or the orange whip. Same. It's the same kind of deal, except the blue one actually it's actually like a club, but the shaft is like a blue rubber. I forget the name of it.
Right. Is that the one?
Yeah.
No, I know what
but
you're
in terms of tempo, and what I'm thinking of is, like I always used to tell myself whenever I was swinging, people like to count like a 1, 2, something like that, or Johnny tempo, something like that. Those little, I guess you could say trigger words that kind of just mimic that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What I want people to kind of get in their mind, I break everything down into basically you're a 1, a 2, or a 3. Picture in your mind a 65-year-old lady, not super athletic, and she has a very long swing, and then it comes down. You've seen that swing, right? That's a 1. Something like that. A 2, good at it, and you get the club moving, not like John Rahm, but you get the club back and you come through. That's a 2. John Rahm, okay, that's a 3. Where would you say most people fall?
Well, it depends on the handicap golfer. I think a lot of the high handicappers try and be a 3, but in reality they should be probably like 1.5 or 2.
Yeah, I would say most people kind of in the 2 range. Younger people maybe you'll get a couple of 3s.
Yeah,
you'll get a couple of 3s, and even if you look on tour, you don't see a lot of 3s. You see a lot of 2s. You see an occasional 1.5-ish. But most people fall in the range of 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you have the transition. Okay. The transition moment is basically, like again, thinking of the 65, 70-year-old person, gets the club up, and then the club comes down. So there's usually kind of a discernible pause at the top. Okay. Do you see a lot of that in 2s and 3s? No. Mostly in 1s.
Yeah.
If they have a slow tempo, they kind of, a lot of times it gets up there and it's almost like they're, okay, let's go down. A 2 in transition, get the club up, and then you come down. And there's acceleration, but it's not like, I'm not trying to rip the cover off the ball from the top.
Right.
A 3 is the guy who's trying to rip the cover off the top, from the top. Again, a perfect example, a John Rahm type of swing. A Bryson DeChambeau. Any tour player coming out of 4 inches of rough.
Right.
That kind of move. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have the release. So I'm going to take my headset off, so you'll have to do some nodding. So you have the release, and the way you identify it, the club seems to be as far away from the person as possible when their hands are about waist high. That's a 1. A 2, there's a little bit of an angle there. A 3, they're really able to hold the angle. Okay? So you have 1s, 2s, and 3s in each of those situations. That's going to dictate a lot of the shaft that you're going to use. Okay. So if you're a one, and a one, you need a light shaft. You're not going to give them a dynamic gold, S300.
Right.
That just doesn't match. If you're a three, and a three, you don't want to be putting into their hands a 50-gram shaft. Now, what I see a lot of guys who are twos in their tempo. I see a lot of twos in transition. And I'll see a one or a two in their release. That's probably the average golfer. You agree?
I would agree.
Now what most golfers kind of get hung up on is I got to have a stiff because somebody told me I swing hard. Probably see that a lot. I was doing a little bit of research into, now for those that don't play golf with Josh regularly, he went and he is no longer playing his pings. He has some Srixon irons. Basically is stuck with the same type of shaft. He has the Modus 105. Mm-hmm. And the only difference between a Modus 105 and your Nippon that we had put into your ping is the Modus is a quarter of a flex softer in the tip. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Okay? How fast generally do you swing your 6-iron? Would you guess?
Oh, ball speed or clubhead speed?
No, clubhead speed.
Oh, gosh. I don't swing it. My long irons. I actually.
What's your ball speed then? Do you know your ball speed on
clubhead
that?
speed? I'd probably say like 103.
Okay. Now, and I think that shaft is a great shaft for you.
Yeah.
This is. I don't want to shock you, but the clubhead speed range that shaft is kind of, if you go to looking at all the numbers of the profile, it's a 70-mile-an-hour shaft. Now, does it feel awesome when you make great contact?
Yes.
You know why it feels awesome?
Why is that?
Because it's a 70-mile-an-hour shaft. It promote, my shafts 60 to 70-mile-an-hour shafts. My 6-iron speed is around 80. My hybrid shaft is a little bit softer. I swing that faster. But I love that feel of the ball exploding off the face.
Yeah.
That gives me confidence into the next swing.
Yeah.
The one shaft that I play that matches my clubhead speed is my fairway wood shaft. And it's because I don't like to feel that club moving about.
Yeah. That give.
And especially in a fairway wood.
Yeah, it's gross.
So you look at my bag and similar in your bag, a lot of the, going with, it's got to be, it goes back to, transition, tempo, release. In your case, I would say your tempo is a 2. Mm-hmm. Your transition's a 2. And your release is probably a 2.5. I haven't seen the new swing yet, so it might be a little bit more, but with your old kind of every once in a while that wipe across move, a lot of times your hands, you're not able to hold the angle quite as long, which is part of that swing.
Right.
And so generally speaking, when you are in the 2 range, most people, the feel better shaft is going to be picking something near the bottom of your swing speed range with a little softer tip. Well, what do you have in your driver? You're probably about 114, 115?
Yeah. Around 110 range. Yeah.
Okay. Well, your shaft is a 95 to 105 mile an hour shaft.
Yeah.
Now, if we gave, and you used to have one that was really stiff,
Yes. The
how did that feel compared to the new shaft?
Oh, well, yeah, it was night and day.
Yeah. Which gives you more confidence?
That the new shaft. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing that most people don't quite get.
Yeah.
They go into the store and they go, "Oh, I swing at 90 miles an hour, so I need a stiff."
Yeah. Or they just go to
Yeah.
something that's like really high renowned, like for example, the Ventus Blue. Or
Right.
Any Ventus shaft for that matter, the Velocore, which don't get me wrong, they're great shafts. They're amazing. But um, a 75-year-old man, oh, I heard the Ventus Blue. Well, everybody's hitting it over 300 with the Ventus Blue. Doesn't mean you are.
No. And talking with Scott, he was telling me just how many people that, they come in thinking that that's what they want.
Yeah.
And like 5% of them end up saying, yes, that's the shaft I want.
Right.
The guy who is a three, a three, and a three, he likes that shaft. If you're, and the thing that golfers need to get over is, you're probably swinging 25 miles an hour over your shaft. Are you fighting wild hooks with it, with your irons?
No.
No. When I hook the ball, I know why I've hooked the ball, because I've dropped the club behind me and I've come from way inside and the face is closed to that path and it's going left.
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with the softness of the shaft. The shaft is fine, but see, most golfers, when they go to the store, because I shouldn't, well, okay, I'll admit it. I went to a store and watched somebody getting fit, and I was listening to the guy doing the fitting, and it was like, well, you're swinging 90 miles an hour. We probably need to get you into like an X. And I'm thinking,
That's terrible.
Why? It's not that you need, now I've run into touring pros who absolutely want, if they can get a piece of rebar that is like reinforced with rebar, they like that feel.
Yeah.
But it's the feel that they like. It's not that the shaft is perfect for them. It's a perfect feel.
Yeah.
For some of them, they have eliminated the left side, and in their mind,
it's a confidence thing.
That's all they.
It's a confidence thing. You get the feel. I mean, that's all golf is really, is chasing those feels. I mean, you hit that one good shot and you're always chasing that one feel for that one shot. And a matter of knowing what those feels are. Like for the longest time, I didn't know that I like, specifically tip stiff shafts. And my
Right.
3-wood, the Wishon 3-wood, the MB green, that shaft is awesome. That's a great shaft. And that's the feeling, like I described it to Gene as, almost feeling like, I'm really holding that club up against the wall, and I'm really just turning and keeping my hands there. And just that stiffness, it just stays there. Like the perfect way you put it is the reinforced rebar. Like that's the feel that I like, is that, there's no give. Anything that has a little bit of give or floppy or whatever the heck, is just gross. But no, it's a confidence thing. I mean, you step up to the golf ball and you have those feels, and like you said, you eliminate the part where you're questioning whether or not it's going to be good or not, or you're questioning the club. As soon as you're questioning the club, then you're out of it. But no, I think that's a big thing. It's a huge confidence and ego booster.
So now you take all that information. There's one more category: your physical strength. Okay. Again, that's 65, 70-year-old, not like me though, because I'm like pretty buff. But most 65, 70, 75-year-olds, somewhere in that range, you've run into the person who you'd say they're a 1 as far as strength. They don't have, it's the guy, you're not going to put a 120-gram shaft in their hands. You want to put the lightest thing in their hands possible.
Right.
Okay. The guy who's a 2, generally speaking, you're looking now at, the better they hold the release, the better the stronger their transition. They're going to be going with something in the 70 to 100 gram range shaft. And again, the stronger, pushing them towards the 100. As far as the holding the release a little longer, the transition's a little bit tighter, you're going to go to a little bit heavier.
Right.
If you're releasing it a little bit early, it's not a big acceleration into the ball, then you're going to go towards the 70 end. And then you got the coming unglued at the ball, along with physical strength. At that point, again, you're not going to probably go much lighter than an 85-gram shaft. And that would probably be in a hybrid. And then working your way up. Okay. So it gives you some pictures. The problem with that is I did some research going online, looking at different club manufacturers and what they offer. And most of them don't offer a lot of the shafts that a 70 to, in the 70 to 100 range. In fact, one manufacturer, everything falls 90 to 100. Who's that good for? Others, it starts at 95 and goes up, and then there's a gap, and then they have the low end. Well, again, who's that good for? Swing weights, D1. I'm like, who's that good for? Generally the guy with the holding the angle, the guy with the pulling it down, he has to know where the head is. D1 going to do it for you?
No.
Not going to do it for me. You got to have some head feel. And again, which leads me back, you got to go and find somebody to help you. You got to go to find a fitter that understands these things, because I keep running into those people. Yeah, I got fit. And you start looking at their bag and you go, how much did you pay for these? Was the fitter in the room while you were getting fit? It doesn't make any sense. We were talking, I think it was the last episode, and we were talking about fairway woods and the number of fairway woods that the stock shaft is like 45 grams.
Oh, yeah. The little Cypher 5.0. Yeah. Senior Flex.
Yeah. Who is that good for?
Yeah.
If I was even looking, because one of the teachers at school had come to me and said, I really want to get something in the 7-wood range, but I don't want to pay $300. Can you help me with that? And I said, sure. And they said, this is what I've been looking at. Well, one of them, the swing weight was C1. The other one, the swing weight was C7. And the comment was, well, I kind of like this one better than that. Okay, well, there's a difference there.
Yeah, we can work with that.
We can work with differences. But I'm going through looking at the men's clubs, and it's like, here's one that'll help you swing it faster.
Yeah.
Well, the lofts are still 21 degrees with the 5
speed
lane.
with this brand new 3-wood.
Yeah. In our testing, we hit the ball went 7.5 yards further with this. Well, then you're either telling me your old one was really terribly designed, or you know how to test this one so that you can get the results that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
When we hit it off the high toe, this one will go further than the old one. So, yeah, it went 7.5 yards. It's like, if I took all those 7.5 yards, it's like they did a study years ago, and it was about golf balls. You know, the golf ball is 3% more distance than in last year's golf ball. Anyways, by the time it was like a 15-year period, if you took all those advancements through the ads that they were telling us that you were gaining, a average tee shot should travel 400 yards. And it drives me nuts because people see the ads and they believe them. And it's like, no. You know, they're talking about our club produces more spin. How does it produce more spin? I always thought spin was a matter of contact. If I hit the ball, if I hit it fat and chunk into the ball, will I produce more spin that way? No. If I thin it, am I going to produce more spin that way? You know, it's they use these beautiful, fluffy, nice, it's going to be great. The only problem is you got to put them in the person's hand. And if they don't fit,
it doesn't matter.
Ain't going.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm looking at these prices and stuff, and I'm going, there's a better way. Get fit. Find, go to Scott. Do something. Ask good questions. Find the guy in, go online, look up club fitters. If you get some guy in a garage near you, check him out. He probably knows more than the guy at the store.
Right.
But it just, my wife looks at me when I'll watch golf on television and I want to start throwing things at the commercials. Because they're telling, oh, this is the best thing since sliced bread. It will eat itself and you'll lose weight. It's the best ever. It's impossible to miss with this club.
I know which ones you're talking about too. That's the ironic thing. I know exactly. There's a few that come to mind that I know. It's the way that they market all these things, and it just makes me laugh, sit back and laugh, because I believed in a lot of them. I mean, you got to give props to the marketing team. They know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, you also got to, how should I say, bring awareness or attention to the fact that most of them are misleading. And a lot of people can be misinformed, and it's very easy to get misinformed on stuff like that. I've found very easy, and people will believe anything they hear, anything they see. They could read the back of a packaging and see, like you said, the golf balls. The Pro V1 came out. It was the new Pro V. That's just like a couple years ago. Do you remember that when they?
No, there've been a new Pro V every year.
Yeah, right. But it's
that's why if you look at a Pro V, that is different from ball to ball.
Yeah.
And it's simply which version is it?
Yeah, it's like the new.
It used to be the 392.
The all new Pro V, the new recipe. It's like Coke. The original Coke.
Right.
Remember that, the new Coke that came out. Yeah.
Yep. New Coke.
Yeah.
I was working in grocery stores then.
Yeah. It's great. It's great. That failed, but still. You read the back of the packaging and then next thing you know, people want to believe it. It's like, the ball will go so much increased distance, maximum distance. So, well, what's maximum distance to somebody? That could be maximum distance to me could be 330 yards. Maximum distance for you could be 290, 300. I mean, who are we talking? This is apples to oranges.
Well, and the thing is every golf ball manufacturer, there's limits placed on the golf ball.
Yeah, the USGA.
And guess what everybody goes for? The max.
Yeah.
Nobody sets out and says, we're going to make a slower golf ball that doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Nobody does that. It's like, our wedges spin more.
Right.
Well, first of all, you got to hit. It's all about the contact.
And there's a legal limit to everything.
And if you're, and if your wedges spin more because everyone's approaching the limit on what a legal groove is, you must be illegal.
It's like the TaylorMade. What is it? The TaylorMade RAC wedges. But there's a TaylorMade TM something. But they got banned because they went past the limit.
Yep.
Yeah, but
yeah,
that's why they got banned because they went past the limit.
Right. Yeah. It's just it's not a hard thing to figure out. You don't go and find ads. If you buy this basketball, you'll hit every three. You'll never miss a three again.
Buy this baseball bat and you'll always hit a home run.
Yeah, exactly. Do you ever see ads like that? What sport do you only see ads like that? Golf. And it's just, it drives
These
me
cleats will
nuts.
make you run faster and
run. You jump higher, you slide better.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all gimmicky. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. And it just, there's some basic parameters that you need to kind of follow. If I'm swinging this way, I need to be looking for this. The earlier my release, the softer the shaft I want to have. I want to get more of a tip soft shaft. I have a friend that I fit for some irons. His 6-iron club head speed was like 95 miles an hour. His old shafts were like an 80-mile-an-hour shaft, and he hated them. But he has an early release. I put him in a 70 to 80 with a soft tip. Oh, this is like butter. I love these. Well, what's the difference? It's a softer shaft because the weight was similar to what he had, a little bit lighter. But the big thing is he was forever trying to make that shaft feel good because every once in a while it wouldn't feel bad. And so it was like trying to figure out, how did I make it happen before? Now it's when he hits it and it doesn't feel good, he goes, oh, that was a bad swing. Where before, if he would have said that,
he didn't know what it was.
Looking at the ball's landing on the green, it's near the hole. It wasn't a bad swing, but it felt awful.
Right.
And that promotes no confidence the next swing.
Right.
And it's mind-boggling to me how golfers have just fallen for, the advertisement. Very few people need a 60. I was out playing about a month ago, and I'm playing with a guy, and he had recently gotten fit, and he is a little bit younger than I am, and is hitting the ball. When he made contact better, he hit it further than I did. And what did he have? He had 70-gram shafts in his irons. And he would, thin one, nuke one, chunk one. And I kind of like, how'd you come up with those? Well, I was getting fit, and the guy said this was the one I hit best.
Nice.
How do you feel about him? How are you feeling about him? He goes, well, when I hit him good, it's good. So is that kind of what was happening when you were getting fit? Well, yeah. I just figured I don't have a good repeat. My swing isn't good enough. So, well, your swing, it's not a matter of your swing being good enough, because watching you repeat everything. It's the club. You get, I can tell before you even make contact with the ball. Oh, you took it back way quicker that time. Oh, you released that one way earlier this time because you can't feel the club. And I gave him one of my clubs, and it was like, wow, I like this. Well, it's only 15 grams heavier than yours, but there's a lot more feel in it. And he hit mine a couple of times over the course of the round, and every time he hit it solid. How come I hit it? Because it's probably matches what you need a little bit better than what you got. And it breaks my heart every time I see that.
Right.
playing in California at Rustic Canyon, one guy was like, he was hitting his driver phenomenally. That was the highest moment of inertia club in his bag. You know, it was a little bit on the longer side. It was a little heavier shaft, and he struggled mightily with his irons. And I tried to talk a little bit about the fact that, well, part of it is, you know, looking at the shafts and everything else, you probably need a little bit more weight on the shaft. You need a little bit. No, I just have a bad swing. Well, how is it that you hit your driver perfect every hole, and you've hit 3 good irons today? That doesn't make sense to me. Well, I'm just a lousy golfer. Well, no, you're not a lousy golfer because you're hitting your driver about 265, 270 down the middle every time. It's getting pretty boring. But again, he had been fit.
Right.
And he was blaming him. It was his fault that he wasn't able to produce.
Right.
Not the fact that the clubs were nowhere near what they needed to be for his swing. He was pretty aggressive in his transition. He was very good at holding his the release, and he had like 75, 80 gram shafts, and I figured the swing weight was around D0.
Jeez.
And he'd stick it in the ground. He'd stick it in the ground and then thin the next one. It was like he could almost predict what was going to happen. Let's see, what did he do the last time? Thinned it. Okay, this one he's sticking it in the ground.
Sure.
Because he had no feel. And again, you know, I was talking with Scott, and he was sharing, you know, the amount of fittings. He said, for some reason, people are starting to catch on again, you know, like it goes in waves. And so I'm just hoping our listeners are part of the wave, getting in and having things checked out. So with that, Mr. Josh.
Yes, sir.
Anything else that we need to rip the golfing world about?
Well, you know, who doesn't want to hit their pitching wedge 160 yards? I mean, that's just incredible.
Yeah, that's true.
That's incredible.
Look at that.
I mean,
that's how I did it.
I mean, I think the entire game of golf now, and I could say this because I'm a part of the younger generation, but the young guys are so fixated on hitting it long. It's like every time you tee it up, it's who drives it the furthest. Who has the most ball speed? Who has the most club head speed? You know, this, that, and the other. That's like, how about you worry about hitting it straight first? How about you worry about hitting the fairway consistently before you start focusing on anything like that? And even then, you would be on tour if your ball speed was over 170 and you're hitting the fairway every single time and dead straight missiles. But and if you hit your pitching wedge with, you know, here comes the word standard, right? The standard lofts. That's what we mean by, you know, the standard now. There's no such thing. I mean, a pitching wedge can be either a 40 degree of loft or 46. Yep. I mean, that's the world we're living in. That's the game we're playing. And that's why, you know, you have buddies. I'm sure there's a lot of people listening to us right now that, you know, are playing a par 3. One guy's got his 6 iron. The other guy got his 8 iron. And then another guy has got his 4 iron. He's like, you know, oh shit. This guy's hitting his 8
What's
iron.
wrong with me?
This guy's hitting his 8 iron. Oh my God. Like, this is, you know, this is 200 yards. This is a 200-yard hole. He's got his 8 iron. Well, you have a lot of these companies creating clubs that are extremely strengthened lofts. And, you know, Gene, like you said, when you're in high school and college, you know, your 7 iron now is, like a 35?
My current is 36 degrees.
Yeah. So like for it to be 40 degrees of loft for a pitching wedge, for it to be that close to your 7 iron is criminal. I think that's criminal.
Yeah.
And I always see these funny memes where it's like, you want to hit the ball further, and it says do this, and they crossed out the numbers on the clubs and would put one, so they would cross out the 4 iron and put
8 and put a
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've seen those. And it just, again, the other issue becomes I can't hit it high enough.
Yes.
So I'm coming into a green and the ball's, coming down at a landing angle of 45 degrees and it's going to release through the back of the green.
Right.
That was one of the big things that I would try to explain to people in a fitting. Obviously, I want you to we want to find out how far you can hit this club.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at the angle of descent.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody says, you know what, give me a 9-iron that I can't stop.
Yeah, no.
I love rolling them through the green into the trap behind the green. That's my way of playing golf. And it drives me nuts. Well, I think we lost Josh. And since we've lost Josh, we might as well close this one out today. Again, we thank you for listening. We ask you to share with your friends. Prague, and I'm trying to remember where in Germany. You guys are awesome. You are like top 5 listening audiences right now.
Oh, baby.
And we greatly appreciate it. We encourage you to check out the YouTube if there's things that we're showing you, like today, showing you about releases and how that, what that looks like, what you're looking for. You can always be having somebody shoot a video of you, and you can look at where's their hand position, where's your hand position at waist high. Again, remember, if you're seeing the shaft doing all kinds of weird things, it's not really happening. You have a phone camera, and a phone camera is not going to give you a great picture of the shaft and what the shaft is doing. And again, it might be you get a picture, you can tell where your hands are a little below your waist, a little above your waist, but you can see what the club head's doing. Is the shaft going more vertically or is it going more horizontally? The more horizontal, the earlier your release. And that always goes with the softer shaft and a softer tip. The more you're holding the angle, the tip stiffer you need it to be, the stiffer the shaft you need to have, because you're putting a lot more force on that club when you're coming into the ball. Again, want to say hi to my grandson and my granddaughter, Emma and Sammy. God bless. All of you out there around the world, thanks for listening. Again, send some emails. Let me know if there's things that I'm saying that you're just not getting. You want clarification on things. This one was kind of a more challenging, trying to explain the differences. Sometimes sending, I have a number of people who have sent me videos of their swing. Please don't send me videos of other things. If you want me to see your swing and kind of give you an idea, you look like a 1 and a 2 and a 2, whatever it is, I'll be happy to do that. But also, school starts tomorrow for me, year number 40 teaching. All those wonderful middle schoolers and trying to get them to understand math. So might take me an extra day or two to get back to you. God bless. Hope you have a great day.